right? So yes, February, community breathing and tension release. We are going to start, we're going to do this on the stool today. I'm going to do the whole thing on our stool, so you can use a chair or a stool, even if it's something lower, but you're sitting up on something, that's fine. That's all good. So I am going to use this, and we're just going to come around and find a comfortable seated position here. So we're going to still do our nice opening, tapping and releasing everything and waking things up. But let's just start off by finding alignment, finding a sense of, engagement into our alignment, but release. So we're going to just sit on your chair. Feel that you're resting into your sitting bones here. So they're a little bit more prominent into your seat, relaxing in your hips. You can just kind of feel around into the front of your hip sockets. If your feet are closer, you're going to be more inclined to use your legs and the effort through your legs to help you engage through the posture of your spine. Let's take that away. Bring your feet a little bit more forward so that your weight shifts down into your pelvis and your sits bones, right? That's the base of your spine. So we just want to feel a sense of letting go, let go of any tension you feel through the legs, relaxing on top of the quads here, and relaxing in the shoulders. Feel a sense of plumb line from your scapula, your shoulder blades, drawing all the way down into the sits bones here. So there's a nice feeding plumb line there. And then of course in the center, we have our spine, and through the lumbar, the sacrum, and the very, very end, the coccyx bone, the tail of the spine. When we talk about the tail of the spine for this work and for this sort of class here, I'm sort of in combining the whole sacrum feeding down into the coccyx bone, right? So it's like, what moves your tail? It's not just your tail moving, it's everything above it moving your tail. So the sacrum and the sacroiliac joint does move the tail. Anyway, so that's in the center. We're just going to rest our palms on top of our thighs here. Let your eyes close and just let your breath, we're breathing and dropping down, releasing the breath and starting to bring some internal focus into the base of the spine and the pelvis. So letting the breath release down into the base of the spine. Letting go of any external thoughts or tensions, starting to focus inward. And then very gently, we're going to just slightly open your eyes, take your palms together and start to bring some energy, some heat up into your hands. So feel that the breath is moving through into your palms. The fingers are nice and relaxed and light. We're kind of gliding in between the fingers. And then we're going to separate the hands. Feel that nice little energetic vibration, that buzz in between your palms. Let that push your palms open. Breathe through that expansion, the breath internally, releasing into the breath externally through your body. So we're just going to move around. Let the breath move you. So it doesn't matter what shape you're moving through. Use this as a sense of connecting your breath inside to the outside, not only the outside through your body, but expanding into the space around you. So your breathing expands and moves you. It's like a nice gentle yawning feeling that you can grow into all of the space you have around you, up above, down below, around the sides, behind you. So the breath is supporting you and moving you through and around. And you start to sort of discover things. You might feel, oh, maybe that's a little bit held on today, or maybe you feel that you connected a little more easily. So less is more, of course. especially when we're getting going, when we're trying to wake things up. And then we're going to take that energy through the palms, just reaching out, gathering, and just sense that over your eyes, around your face. We're going to just breathe and wash that over your face. Feel that the breath is traveling through your hands on all these things here, moving through the body. So just feeling a sense of calmness, wash over your face, flushing through. We're going to take our fingertips into the brow bone and breathe out, carving and massaging from inside to outside with a little lift up into your hairline. So a little lift at the edges. We're going to exhale, feel that sense of openness and release from the center of the face out. And then take your index fingers, going underneath the eyes, right on your orbital bone here. So right through the sinuses, we're breathing, not too hard, but just feeling out what you need. Breathing through that, feeling, again, a sense of calm opening from the center and out. And then we'll take our fingertips into the forehead, releasing the breath. We're going to just scrub up and down, moving the skin on the surface, ironing out any lines, but also waking up, moving the lymph around right underneath the skin here. And then coming around to the outside of the eyes, the temples, very light here. Do not press into your temples. Just move the skin around a little bit. And then continue down, relaxing your jaw. You can actually press when you push in more. It's called palpate. So we want to push into the tissue more if it feels good, not to hurt yourself. Relax your bottom, the bottom of your jaw and let it hang a little so you can go all around, releasing huge tension spot here. Breathing into that. And then coming up around the ears into our scalp. So we're going to just do this little scrubby lifty motion around the tops of the ears, making our way around the ears in the back. Again, a nice little lifting quality.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Okay, Siri was talking back to me. Happens all the time. We're going to lift up from the crown, from the top of the spine into the back of the head, into the cranium. And then we're getting into the very top of the spine. That little crevice where your head and your neck meet there, the occiput. We're going to do a nice little lateral massage here, just breathing into that and opening up a little bit. Going a little bit wider out to the sides towards your ears, but just sort of tapping into that area. And then let's come back in closer to the spine. And we're going to take a nice circular massage now. So relax into your hands a little bit and take a nice circular massage, making your way from the top of the neck down and into the tops of the shoulders. So just sort of releasing, breathing into it, finding your breath to let go a little bit so you can release any stress and tension around that area. And then taking your fingers over tops of the shoulders, digging in, and exhale, pulling over top and forward over the traps, and then just sweeping the palms to really shake out any tension or stress there. And then we'll go over the top and taking a nice exhale and letting it go. And again, over and breathing into this release, relaxing the shoulders and shaking it off. And then from here, feeling the breath, we're going to interlace our fingers. The breath comes from the base of the spine all the way through and up. So we're not trying to pull with the arms into the spine. We release and unravel up, and then let the breath wiggle you up out of your hips a little bit more, feeling that sense of openness and release from the hips and the lower back. And then relax your arms down in front, letting your tail release under. We're going to take a circle here, sweeping the arms around to the side. You can bring your feet a little wider if you like. Inhale through the side ribs. Feel the chest float up. Exhale over. Let your tail release under, so you're breathing through the upper back as you come down. Inhale, sigh, and up, so your shoulders relax. And exhale, and sweeping the tail under. And again, inhale. Feel that you're breathing through the space in between your ribs and through the center. And again, in between the ribs, and exhale. And around. So in between the ribs through the intercostals, the sternum opens wide. Now we're going to reverse. Exhale the other way and sweeping the tail under and around. Inhale through the sides of the ribs, in between the ribs, breathing open, and exhale and forward, around, relaxing the shoulders. Inhale and up. And one more time, exhale and forward, around. Inhale through the side ribs and up. Now feel the breath internally through your center line. Lift you up from inside, and that wiggles up through the arms, stretching again. Keep that internal lift as you release and open the arms out, just floating them around and down. Good. Okay, so now from here, we're going to get into the legs a little bit more. So on the chair, it's a little bit different than when we're on the floor here. We're going to reach one heel out and take your other hand back behind. We're flexing the foot here, toes are up. And just what you're doing is breathing through the stretch of your heel along the floor. And then we're countering with the back palm pushing, lifting up, breathing. Let that breath from your midline lift you up and open through the chest. This arm up here can just hang a little bit. Think of your shoulder blade, your scapula, just hanging down a little. Let it gently breathe open, release and change. So it's the same arm as leg. The breath brings you up, so you support through the inside, and then you just let that little extra up and over through the back palm come through, and release and change. Inhale up. And exhale, release. A nice little yawn. Inhale up. Over the tail. We're getting a little bit over our sitting bones here. And again, inhale up. And release. One more time. Inhale through and up. And release. So now from here, we're going to change our legs, how they are a little bit. We're going to bring them more forward than we were before. Slightly and comfortably internally rotated. So we're not trying to rotate inside. We're just letting them fall through that alignment. We're going to take our palms up and we're just going to circle through the wrist, breathing through the wrist, circling around. This circling and breath through the wrist and the hands into the fingers. We're making our way down. Now we want the legs that way because we're going to hang. We're going to hang over here. This does not have to be as far as I am. It could be just your head. So the weight of your head, it's pretty heavy, and that will give you enough, if you're focused on releasing your head, that will feed into your back with the breath. So we're going to exhale and just gently drop your head a little bit, letting that feed into the release of your lower back. And then we're going to stay here. Tiny little shift with your head side to side. When we're on the floor, this is a bigger roll, but we're going to just keep it. We're not moving our hips as much. We're just keeping them there and letting your head sway. Get some breath into your back ribs going a little bit here. Feeling that your ribs are unsticking from the waist area. Breathing up and out. And then we're just going to hang over, rolling up, drawing your tail down to roll through and up. And coming all the way through. Good. So we're going to keep the legs right here. Take your fists and now just drum into your sacrum and your lower back. So we're breathing into that nice little scoop through the abdomen, getting into and around the sacrum, going into your glutes a little bit here, all over, just letting your fists kind of bounce off of your body, releasing the tissue. We're going to come up the sides of the spine towards your kidneys and back down again. And then we're going to take our fists right into the back sides of the hips, our greater trochanters. So we're just letting them bounce off of the back side of the hips, releasing, kind of waking things up in there. And then taking one at a time, we're going to come around from the back of the hip. So now we're feeling a nice circular motion. So we're kind of flushing any tension and or tightness downward towards our feet. So out of the most distal point through our toes. We want to send tension away. And then letting the palms open. So we're using the heels of our hands a little more, right around the sides of the legs, down your IT band lines, right? So that stripe right in the center side. Relax your muscles as much as you can and let them really kind of shake around off the bones here. We're fluffing things up. You can do like a little kind of a scoop, but try not to do like a karate chop there. So you just want to feel that you're moving water. So you're kind of scooping it, flushing all the way down the sides of the legs until you're right up above your knees. This is where our quads attach into the tops of the knees. And we're just going to kind of fluff up over that attachment zone, go all around through the center and the inside. And then we'll take our fingertips. Now, some people might get, because of our position, when we're on the floor, this doesn't happen. Because we're sitting in a chair and our knees are slightly bent, you're going to get a reflex maybe. So we're doing tapping on the patella, feeling a vibration into the knee joint. If you stay right on top of the bone, you should be okay. As soon as you start to move under the bone, you might get a little jumpy reflex there, which is healthy. We're going to keep tapping on the bone, on the shin bone. Travel down your shin bones all the way to your ankles. And tapping, traveling back up. Now from here, we're going to gently lean back a little. Use the heels of your hands and flush across down the top of the thighs here. So we're massaging. You can give a really good amount of pressure here. Relax your muscles. Might feel a little bit kind of lumpy. There's, tissue under there, but we want to release it. We want to teach it to release and lengthen here and also kind of wake things up. Go all around the quads because our leg is round. We're going to go a little bit to the outside, over the top, maybe a little bit to the inside, just different places where we might hold some tension and breathe into that. And then we're going to continue down. You might need to slightly rotate in again. Use the heels of your hands, the outside of your shins, these peroneal muscles here, where you might get shin splints if you've ever had them. We're going to just kind of fluff around the outside there. Nice circular, kind of loose padding motion here. Feeling that the breath travels through the palms. If you feel that you need to bring your foot to rest up on top of something while you're doing this, you can do that too. So it all feels really good, but these don't get very much attention. So we want to stimulate something around here. They work really hard, let's just say that. And then we're going to come around. Now, instead of slightly inwardly rotating and falling, we're going to do slight outward. This does not have to be big, and you don't want to stretch per se. You don't want too much effort. Use the tops of your hands. Now we go in a downward motion from the inner thighs. You can sit maybe more close to the edge of your seat, as long as you're balanced. And just take that flush down. We're just feeling again a release on the insides of the hips down through the legs. Sometimes we hold a lot of tension here. These are our adductors. We're going to go down the length of the thigh towards the knees with this motion. And then from here, to get into our calves, we're gonna go a little bit differently. Come back through parallel. Maybe bring your feet a little closer for balance. Gently hold your leg up, floppy in the foot, and just go from either side, letting things kind of loosen up and shake around here. Breathing into that. You could rest your heel on your leg or somewhere in front on something. But we want it to shake. We want it to move and wiggle. And then just let that come down. We'll change to the other side. Floppy foot. Let things move. Go where you feel. Sometimes there's a little sense of soreness, or, you know, you didn't know that maybe you worked in your calves and now you're releasing that. And just release. Good. Okay, so now from here, we're going to just bring the feet a little bit forward again, like what we did before. And we're just going to sit up nice and tall, take a nice lift in the chest. We're going to do our happy hamster. So we're breathing through the palms, moving the lymph around the sides of the body, taking a deep breath in. And exhale all through the sides, waking up the organs. And then we'll come around and down into the front of the hips, into the groin area. And again, moving the lymph around through here. And then right up through the center. So right in the center of our chest where the bones meet into the breastplate, we're just going to breathe through the sternum, massaging up and down. Releasing any tension you feel there. A lot of tension gets held here. Letting that probably lets your shoulders go a little bit more too. And then taking nice long strokes from your ribs underneath the sides of the ribs. More so waking up all the nerves, getting that release underneath the rib cage going a bit. Things are not fixed per se. So we want to feel that we can let the body move and expand through those areas. And then just relaxing back down through center. Relax your shoulders and let your head drop over. Use your opposite palm and just massaging into the front of the shoulder. Releasing. You can hang the arm if you want to, whatever feels comfortable. And gently let your head move around a little bit here. Breathing into that. And then relaxing out of that, relaxing this arm, head goes over the other way, changing sides, and just starting to move things around. Lots of lymph here. Using your breath to feel that you're releasing a little bit more. So you're a little bit more able to release through that area by using your breath, being aware of your breath. And then relaxing back through center. So now we're going to use the breath through our palm and exhale, let your arms hang and just go up and over, just dropping your palm and dropping. We're letting our hand bounce off the top back of the shoulders here. So feel that your palm gets some breath and awareness, not only on top of into the muscles, into your trapezoids, but underneath that. So around the top back ribs, your lungs are all the way up back there, just sort of feeling that your breath travels through and you get a sense of that part of your body to release and open and maybe just start to wake up and work a little bit. And then just relax. Let your tail release under. Take a deep breath in. Let the breath internally inhale and lift you up, lifting you up through your arms, lifting you up out of your hips. Then we're going to exhale, stay lengthened, and release the arms, dropping down. And again, inhale through and out. So try to feel that the connection internally lifts you and not just your arms. Let them go. So delay your arms. Let this build inside to lift you through the arms. So you're breathing from the midline, from your spine, all the way up, and let it go. And then we're just going to shake it all out, relaxing in the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists here. Let your breath travel down, getting a nice fuzzy feeling all the way down into your fingertips and palms, letting your head go. Letting all that release come through. And then from here, we're just going to gently interlace the fingers and just do a nice little compression, release, and breath into your palms here. So you can kind of shear and move forward and back between the palms, breathing into that. And then also coming back, staying together and just relaxing your wrists. Relax your shoulders on this as you start to flow through releasing the wrist. So this is kind of like a figure 8 motion. I don't even want to say it has a shape, but let your breath help you find the flow and release. Breathing out, moving around. Let the release of tension come through. Try not to make more tension here by doing or making a shape. Just let your body move through it and then reverse that. So you're going to feel less coordinated, but just let it try to find some flow, especially with your breath here, because it might feel more new. And so your range might be smaller. It might not be as coordinated, as easily coordinated. And then from here, we're just going to squeeze, gently pull apart, and then feel that the breath from the palm, we're going to inhale, open from the palm out. Exhale, gather into the center of the palm. Inhale and exhale. So we have a compression release with all our fingers here, but we're thinking of the most central point of the palm to do that. So that's the point, that power point into our hand. And we're using that to unravel the fingers in either direction so that we're not causing too much tension from the fingers into the palm. So we want it to come from inside. The most central point in this is our palm. And then we're going to do a squeezing breath now from the base of the spine, from the pelvis. So it's that same compression release idea. We're going to let the breath in, let the breath lift you and float your arms up, expanding. Now we're going to take a nice long squeezing exhale. We're squeezing through the fingertips, the toes, the eyes. We're compressing and squeezing the breath out, squeezing out anything negative, physical or emotional. Use your breath to kind of push that out of your body, making space for new. Let the breath in when you feel you need to. Very light, expansive opening. And again, exhale, squeezing it out. Letting the breath expand you. We're going to do one more like that. And exhale, squeezing out. And letting the breath in to open and expand. On this last one, we're going to exhale, but this time gather light new energy through the fingertips and toes, using your breath to draw that new energy into your center, into your midline, into the base of your spine, enveloping it. And then just let the breath in, release anything that was kind of holding on. Now we're going to come around right up into the top of the spine, into that occiput area there, and just feel a nice sense of kind of lifting through there. We want to use our hands to feel nice and tall, but also try, sometimes when we start to do this, there's a little bit of tension that creeps into the lower back. So try to be aware of that and stay nice and soft and rested through the tail. And as you feel this come up, it's coming from the inside. You're not pulling into the bottom of the spine. Then we're going to interlace, hold the back of your head. You're letting your head rest into your palms a little bit. Now, when your head rests into your hands, try not to have too much forwardness in your chin. Sometimes the back of the head goes first. Feel that the jaw and the chin drop into your hands more. So that's an in and back feeling through the jaw. Now you can use your hands to create a little bit of length and traction, just a little sensation. The palms, as you're dropped in, breathe into your hands. Your hands slightly pull up, getting a sense of length there, and keep the palms sweeping up and out, around and down. So now from here, just feel that length through the back of the body, internally, all the way up through the crown of the head. The hands are just resting on your thighs here. Let the breath come in. We're going to breathe through the midline and out through the eyes, very gently, just using your eyes to just look around your room. So you're just seeing and scanning, looking around the space, feeling a sense of connection from the inside with your breath. When you get to the side, take a new breath and just see the room, looking at all the little details, scanning the room with this nice lengthened internal energy coming up and out through the eyes, over to the other side. And again, exhale, changing, relaxing into your eyes. Let your vision actually work here so that you're just seeing comfortably, softly. You're noticing everything. And then again, changing, new breath. Letting your vision expand out a little bit more this time. So feeling that you can see through the walls, like you're looking further away out onto a beautiful horizon. And we're just going to let that come all the way back through center. We're going to take a deep breath in, draw the breath in and up from the base of the spine. As you close, squeeze your eyes shut. So we're pulling the energy upwards. Try not to clench your shoulders or your neck here. Just let it come from here. And exhale slowly, opening the eyes. Let that energy release. And then just taking your hands, just kind of sweeping away around the eyes. You can blink them a little bit here. Just kind of like you're sweeping away any little cobwebs energetically around your face and eyes. And then we'll take our fingertips, just tapping all over the skull, that same breathing vibration all the way around. And then we're taking a nice little sweeping upward motion from the back of the head, from the neck into the head, just feeling that lengthening energy again. And then feeling that come all the way up through the crown of the head. So this is a little bit, spotting side to side. Go with how quick you're comfortable with. So this is a quicker kind of twirling type motion through the top of the spine. We're going to start off by using our eyes, spotting one side to the other side, right? So we're going to exhale, look and look and look and look. And you may just stay here. We're looking for that lengthened energy more over anything. So we don't want to let this become compressed and closed. We're just turning. We're just juicing up the joint a little bit, right? Or plural, joints, each little vertebrae there. So if you feel comfortable to release into it, let your jaw go. Let your eyes spot. You're going to lose your center. You're going to lose your spot too. Let your breath go. Then let it slow down very slowly here. Let it come back gradually so that you don't get too dizzy, right? So you can slow this down, but keep moving. If you stop really quickly, that's the most aggressive to recalibrate through. So you just want to keep moving, but spot and spot and spot until it just slowly stops. And then just release. So now we're going to come around into our suture sagittalis. That line, my part is perfect here, right into the hairline, the front. We're going to exhale, push down, pull apart, and release. Just a little release of that energy through the top center. We're making our way back all the way to the crown here. and push down, pull apart, let go. And just feeling that openness as we come around here. Good. So now we're going to stay seated, and then I'm going to do a couple, we're going to stretch through the legs a little bit to come up to stand. The standing breathing that we sometimes have done in this class, but is always in our full class. We want to feel that we're going to do some of those exercises here seated. So sometimes there's a lot going on when you're standing up and starting to practice through this. It feels really, really good when you do find it with more clarity, but let's try it while we're seated today. And then we'll try it a little bit standing up too, to see how that changes or builds. So feeling that we're going to bring our fingertips on the low belly here. So this is the dantian. This is where, you know, the bottom and the top meet. So it's where heaven and earth meet in your body, your center. So we're going to we're going to use a sipping breath through the mouth and feel that the muscles, everything comes in and up along the spine as we sip. And then exhale, sustain it, and then let it go gently, right? So we're going to sip in and up. Sustain it. Take a slow exhale, but don't release this. Let it go in more with your fingers. Then let go. Gather again, sipping. Sustaining. Exhale, go even deeper. Then let it go. One more time, sipping. Keeping it. And exhale. Release. Good. So now this energy, you know, this is our main source of connection and initiation. We want to build through this the same way that we just did. Let the arms hang. We're going to let the arms float around and up as we sip. And then as we exhale, we keep that sustaining lift, and we just let the elbows and the shoulders glide and release forward, around and down. So there's a loop happening internally. So there's contrast. We go up and we feel that the chest cavity, you can feel this breath and the chest cavity expands and lifts. That's what floats your arms up. As your arms float up, they're not lifting from the tops of the shoulders. The breath and connection internally floats the arms up, and they could be more forward. If your shoulders are feeling a little tighter, that's drawing and dropping your scapula, your shoulder blades down, and they're just kind of resting into your back here, right? So try not to lift your arm from tension on the top. Too many people have some of that these days. And just feel all these muscles underneath, you know, whether you're a dancer or whether you just want to be able to reach up and grab something from a top shelf there. No matter what it is, it's all the same. Feeling that you can engage, not through tension, but through alignment and connection. That will improve the function. And then we're just going to let that release from here, out, around, and down. So let's try that back through here, back into our center, that imaginary internal midline here. So we feel the connection through that line. Let the arms hang. Draw your sip up to float your arms through. So there's always a contrast of down to go up, even deeper, sustaining it as you exhale. And release. Relax the shoulders. Let the breath start, and then the arms go. and sustain, release, exhale. So you might need to move a little bit faster or than me because maybe your breath isn't as conditioned. We want to coordinate with the breath. So keep that sense of coordinating with your breath, even if you have to go a little bit ahead of what I'm doing. So you want to feel that you're going as long as you can, and then you're letting it build. Your stamina with the elongation of your breath will build. And exhale. And relax. Good. Okay, you can kind of shake it out there. We're going to come up onto our feet. Use your seat here and just take a nice little draw back of your heel. Let your tail release down. Just getting, some energy and stretch down into the lower part of the body and just drawing back. Your heel does not have to press into the floor. You can just use your body weight, breathe into it. Feel the backs of the knees breathe a little. And then come in. We're going to gently step back just a tad. Your knees can bend here. Feel that tail again. The tail breathes back. And you can just rest your palms forward or stay on your forearms. Just breathe into the stretch here after sitting. Feel that lift through your abdomen up to the ceiling. Your abdomen lifts you up. To help roll up, you can walk forward and come all the way up. Breathe into your spine. Your tail's pulling down through the floor as the breath comes in and up through the front. And once you're all the way up, you can kind of breathe into that alignment for a moment. Let it rest. Take your chair away or just step away from it. So we're going to take that out of the way. Now, standing here, let's do the sipping right from the base of the spine here. So feel, now we have our feet, right? We're pretty rested into our sitting bones from sitting for a while. We got sort of comfortable. Feel that your feet are breathing down into the floor and very open, right? So sometimes the feet have more tension. There's a lot going on into the lower part of the body that we haven't addressed, but just feel the feet expand and open into the floor. Let a sense of plumb line come from your spine through your tail down through your feet. Don't worry about your knees and everything else through the legs. Find the energetic line of openness into the soles of the feet. Whether your feet might be a little bit apart, and that's okay. Bring them as close as you feel comfortable. Again, it's from the midline. Think of that midline starting from in between your heels as we sip the breath. This is just with our fingertips here. They're not arms yet. So we're going to sip in and up from the floor internally. You can give a little pressure down with the feet as you sip. And exhale, we're going to bend the knees as we lift up. Release, gently lengthen again, sip in and up. Sustain and exhale. One more time, the sip lengthens you up. And exhale. Release the arms to hang. Everything is the same. We're just going to add the floating of the arms, sipping. Feel your feet push down into the floor a little bit. And exhale, little bend in the knees and softening in the elbows to come forward, around, and down. And again, sipping in and up. Sustaining it. And exhale, release. releasing in the knees, feel that lift internally. And shoulders relax. One more time, in and up. Let your feet reach down to help you find that internal connection. And exhale. And just release here. Just standing and feeling a sense of plumb line into the floor, into gravity, not feeling like you have to lift and hold. Use that oppositional drop through the bones to feel that you can lift up naturally inside, and just breathe through the chest to open, just roll your shoulders around a little bit. And hopefully it feels a little bit more comfortable to stand up taller and more open. And you can take a nice little walk and shift in your hips to feel that release. And that is it. So thank you very much. And I will send a notice out for the next one a little sooner. And maybe I can do this even more frequent in the future. So I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully I can make time for that. All right, thank you very much. Have a great day.